Hello, everybody, and welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G. I'm your meteorologist. Thank you for joining me today on your Thursday afternoon as we talk about the weather forecast that we have coming up for your Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great day out there. We're seeing a lot of sunshine over a huge portion of the nation. We're only really seeing rainfall along the southern tier, across the southeast, and over the state of Texas, and maybe a few monsoon storms across the desert southwest as well. But for the most part, it's going to be dry out west, but it's going to be exceptionally hot. And we're seeing temperatures approach the 110 degree plus mark down through the southwestern deserts, all the way up into the Pacific Northwest, and on the interior portions of Oregon and Washington, we're seeing hot weather, as well as through the high plains in Montana and Wyoming, and over North and South Dakota and through Nebraska. We're also seeing some triple-digit heat as well that might try to make its way into the upper Mississippi River Valley over the weekend. Possibly we could see a hot weekend in store for you folks, but we're also seeing very nice weather across the Northeast and through the Great Lakes. We've seen some 50s in portions of the interior of the Northeast. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, we saw 50s this morning, and we're also seeing leaves change color through portions of the Northeast and in the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest as well. We're seeing some oranges and reds in the leaves as we are about 20 days away from the start of the fall season. And let's take a look at our weather today and talk about that rainfall that's taking place across the southern plains and through portions of the southeast. And here we are as we take a wide angle look at the radar, and we are seeing that rainfall across the state of Texas, as we do have an area of low pressure in place here, and it is providing the spark for some of that rainfall, and we're going to be seeing some flash flooding out there across the state of Texas this afternoon, as well as down across southwestern Texas. We're seeing some heavy rainfall as well, and could be seeing some flooding issues. We could pick up almost 2 inches of rainfall through some of this action here across the southern plains and through portions of the lower Mississippi River Valley and the Ozark Mountain Range. We're going to be dealing with that heavy rainfall through eastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. We have more rain across the southeast as our frontal boundary that's in place across the southern tier of the nation. It has been down here a week or so, and it's nearly stationary, so it's going to continue to provide the focus for showers and storms along the Gulf Coast and the state of Florida and through portions of South Carolina and southern Georgia. We're seeing that heavy rainfall this afternoon. And again, we have scattered showers and thunderstorms through the high plains, but we have that frontal boundary, that warm front that's moving across the nation's midsection, and it's going to be leading to some thunderstorms there as I knock the camera over, not the camera, but the one of my lights here. I'm knocking it over, stepping on the wire. So we have that warm front in place across the nation's midsection, and that's going to be providing the focus for showers and thunderstorms there, as well as through the central plains along the I-35 corridor up toward the Twin Cities, where we could be seeing some showers and thunderstorms. So that's a look at the wide angle of the radar. Here's a close-up of that wet weather across the state of Texas, and we're seeing that heavy rain across southwestern Texas and through central Texas. So Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, as well as Austin could be seeing that rainfall, and we're seeing it all across northeastern Texas. So we got Texarkana here, and there's also a town that starts with an N that I cannot pronounce, Nacogdoches or something like that. Anybody that knows how to pronounce that town, I don't know, send me a message or something to say how to say that. But it's a very East Texas word in western Louisiana there. And we also have southeastern Texas near Beaumont picking up some of that heavy rainfall. And it's just to the east of Houston. So Houston, you're actually in the clear. You're in the middle here. We got showers here and showers here to the east and to your west. But right now, it's dry weather across the state, the city of Houston this afternoon. So that is a look at the radar. Here is our watches and hazards. We do have a flood watch here across southwestern Texas, and we have our excessive heat watch here. I got to walk way over here. So we have our excessive heat watch across the southwestern deserts, Southern California, as well as through central and northern California. It is 104 degrees in LA today, so we're seeing very hot weather across the Southland and a heat advisory in place through portions of Nevada, the Great Basin out there, as well as through the interior of Oregon and Washington and southern Idaho this afternoon. So we're dealing with a lot of heat in place, and we have a red flag along the U.S.-Canadian border through northeastern Montana out there, and lovely conditions across the eastern half of the nation. Nothing to report there, but cooler weather and fall leaves changing. All right, so as a tropical outlook, we have a named storm that we're going to talk about. Tropical Storm Danielle. All right, so Danielle is sitting out here through portions of the open Atlantic here, and it's very kind of slowly meandering around out there and moving off to the northeast. Not going to affect anything but shipping interests out there across the central Atlantic, and eventually it's going to end up in the North Atlantic. So Tropical Storm Danielle, which is expected to attain hurricane strength. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment. And we have our other tropical disturbance. We have another tropical wave right here that's moving off the coast of Africa through the Cape Verde Islands. So that guy has about a 20% chance of development over the next 48 hours. So that's going to slowly gather strength and get itself together. And then we have our other tropical system to look at right here. Here's our third tropical system, which has about a 50% chance of further development. So this one could certainly become our next tropical depression that we're going to be talking about. But right now we do have Danielle, and this is a look at the Atlantic Basin right now. Nothing really going on across the Gulf of Mexico and the Southern Caribbean. So very quiet conditions in that part of the nation right now. And here we go as we take a look at the Eastern Pacific. And we are looking at what could be our next tropical storm in this region. And we have this guy right here with a 90% chance of developing into a tropical depression over the next 24 to 48 hours. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about that is going to be our next tropical storm that we're going to talk about. And then we have this guy that looks very well organized here, and he has about a 20% chance of further development over the next 48 hours. But it's a really good looking compact system here. The circulation is nicely compact, so I expect that it's going to continue to grow, and eventually we'll be talking about another tropical system. So we have the potential for as many as 5 systems in the Atlantic and in the Eastern Pacific right now. So as we take a look at a close-up of Tropical Storm Danielle, it has sustained winds of about 40 miles per hour right now. It's looking really nice out there. A lot of its energy is off to the north and east of the center of circulation. The center of circulation is right about here, so a lot of its energy is off to the north and east, which is very common to see in these low-grade tropical systems as it's trying to get itself organized, and it's headed off to the northeast. It's not going to affect any land masses at all out here, but it's going to eventually, it's poised to reach hurricane strength, and let's take a look at that. So it's expected to be hurricane strength at 12 p.m. by Monday. So by Monday, we could be talking about Hurricane Danielle, and I don't expect it to get any stronger than a Category 1 hurricane, and that hurricane status is probably going to be achieved and sustained for a very short period of time. So in my expectation is for it to be a very short-lived hurricane. So we got the potential for Hurricane Danielle as it further develops this weekend. It's going to meander around there, not going to be really sure where it's going. Don't have a lot of steering currents right now. is sitting at the periphery, the northern periphery of the Bermuda High, and we've had a lot of weather systems coming off of the mainland here of the North America, and it's been a lot of cold fronts out here, and extratropical or mid-latitude storm systems have been in place, so they're creating a lot of shear, but there's also not a lot of steering currents to push this guy out there a little bit until this frontal boundaries over the Eastern U.S. get a little bit closer and is able to pick it up. Then it will probably start to move off to the northeast. But in the meantime, it's just going to meander right out in this area the entirety of the weekend. It's not going to move off of that spot until about Monday. So we see our 12 p.m. Update there. This is where it's anticipated. And then by 12 p.m. Tuesday, so it's going to take 24 hours to move from here to here. So it's not going to have a whole lot of forward progression. And one other thing that can happen with slow-moving tropical systems is that they sit over the same area for a long period of time. They can cool the water temperatures underneath them, and in fact, cut off their own supply of energy because they've rain cooled and their cloud cover has cooled the water under the first few meters below the surface can cool, so you won't get as much evaporative convection from the waters there to help to provide energy for those tropical systems. So they don't really want to sit over the same area for too long, or it may not reach that hurricane status and could have issues with further development. But it is sitting under the periphery of the Bermuda High, so it's under ideal conditions to further develop, and it's not being sheared apart right now. So that is a look at Tropical Storm Danielle, and we are going to be talking about the severe weather across America right now because we don't have an opportunity to see a whole lot of severe weather. We're not dealing with a whole lot today, but we could see a little bit for your Friday through portions of the upper Mississippi Valley and through the Central Plains. So let's take a look at our severe weather potential. This afternoon, we're seeing our thunderstorms down from the southeastern sections of Arizona through New Mexico and across the state of Texas and all the way up to the Canadian border through the Plain States, through the nation's midsection, because we do have an area of low pressure and a warm front and a couple of troughs that's associated with this system that's moving through the nation's midsection. Now, it's a little bit moisture starved because we do have a low pressure center down here across southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas, and that frontal boundary that's been across the southeastern U.S. for quite a while now. So we've been dealing with that front, and it's kind of creating a barrier to tapping in to some of that Gulf moisture for this northern branch system right here. So it's going to be struggling for moisture because of this competition down to the south, and as long as that's the case, we're not going to see an opportunity for a whole lot of severe weather today. But tomorrow, as we take a look at it, we could see a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. And what that means, a marginal risk, is that means that we're going to be seeing isolated severe storms. There's going to be very few and far in between those storms, and what those storms will entail is there's going to be a lot of rainfall, and we could see some gusty winds that could reach severe limits very briefly. And if we see hail, it's going to be very small, pea-sized hail that's going to feel like little stingers as they hit you in the head when they fall down out of the sky. So you could deal with some pea-sized hail, some gusty winds, and some very heavy rainfall. So it's going to be isolated and scattered through this region here. So just to the southeast of the Twin Cities through Wisconsin, as well as through Des Moines and Omaha, Nebraska, could see that severe weather down through portions of central Kansas and far north central Oklahoma and into the Oklahoma Panhandle. You could deal with some severe thunderstorms potentially on your Friday out there as that storm system kind of gets a little bit more energy, kind of gets angled right, and is able to draw in some of that moisture down off of this system down to the south there. So we're going to be seeing those thunderstorm potential increase over portions of the Midwest and the upper Mississippi Valley and into the Great Lakes. And on your Saturday, no severe weather is expected at this time, but I do anticipate that some severe weather headlines could be posted here in the Great Lakes and through the interior portions of the Northeast as we move into your Saturday. But the Severe Storm Prediction Center don't seem to think so right now, but I think that it could be some marginal thunderstorms in this region by Saturday, especially if our system, it wouldn't happen if our mid-latitude system here, our trough or our shortwave lifts up into Canada, then that energy will move a little bit further away and we won't have as much as that vorticity in the atmosphere, but we'll be getting that southwesterly flow that we will pick up those showers and thunderstorms, but they won't have the shear required behind them to get any of those thunderstorms to rotate or to reach severe limits. So that is one of the reasons why the Severe Storm Prediction Center probably don't believe that we could be seeing that severe weather threat in the east for your Saturday. It's going to depend on the positioning of that upper level disturbance that's currently moving across the north central plains, and it moves up into Canada. It's expected to move into southern Canada and away from the U.S. So the best forcing will be away from the U.S., the dynamics for that potential for any severe weather. So that is a look at the severe weather outlook. Oh, here's a look at the actual surface analysis for our severe weather event that we can expect across the northern plains and the upper Mississippi Valley on your Friday. So here we are. We have that cold front in place. There is that area of low pressure here. This is called a short wave. It's more like an open wave of low pressure. It is not a closed low, so we're not going to be seeing any tornadic activity with that. There's not a whole lot of twisting in the atmosphere. It's just kind of like a ripple, a wave in the atmosphere, and it's going to be enough to create some lift and get some thunderstorms to develop along this frontal boundary. Now, this frontal boundary itself can get some thunderstorms. You can get minor ripples around it along this frontal boundary, but that area of low pressure is going to aid in the development and enhancement of some of those thunderstorms, so we could see that potential for some isolated severe storms on your Friday as that low pressure center will move along this frontal boundary and head off to the north. There is our main area of low pressure there in Canada, so it's going to head off toward that direction where we have our triple point. That's an area that could see some severe weather right there. But that is a look at our severe weather outlook for the next couple of days here. Now let's talk about our overall weather forecast coming up for this afternoon, your Friday and Saturday. So we have that heavy rain across the state of Texas. There is our frontal boundary. We have a couple of short waves of low pressure. We got 1, 2, and 3. So we got 3 areas that we're going to be seeing being the focus for heavy rain. The one is going to be right here. We can see some flooding this afternoon and across southwestern Texas. You saw on the radar where it had that rainfall from this region and all through here because we have that short wave of low pressure in this region, and it's kind of enhancing and creating the lift and instability to really get those thunderstorms going. So we're going to continue to see that today, and we're going to see some more showers and storms predominantly in this area as well this afternoon. Beautiful weather across the Northeast. We have this cold front, and it's going to be a dry system, but it's going to be bringing that cooler air across the interior of the Northeast. So we're going to be seeing that fall weather start to move in and really helping to change the color of those leaves across the Northeast. And here we are with a few showers and thunderstorms through the plains in the Midwest, and as well as through the Great Lakes. We can see a few showers right in this region as well, through portions of Illinois and northern Indiana. you might see an isolated shower or storm, but I wouldn't worry about receiving too much from that. And we're going to see those showers and storms here, and a little bit of monsoon moisture down through the four corners of New Mexico and southeastern Arizona. But it's going to be very hot across the northern plains and over into the Pacific Northwest, down through the state of Nevada and California into the southwestern deserts, where we're seeing those temperatures about 110 degrees from Southern California and southwestern Arizona all the way up through Nevada and Oregon and Washington, as well as Idaho. We're seeing those temperatures exceed 100 degrees, and we're seeing a few temperatures exceed 100 degrees through the north central plain states. So that is a look at your afternoon weather forecast today. Now here we are as we talk about your Friday. We're going to see a few more southwestern monsoons as the monsoon season tries to hang on, but it's going to be sputtering. But that heavy rain is going to continue yet again across the state of Texas as we have that extra upper level of energy of that trough of low pressure down in this region. So it's going to kind of remain in place. It's nearly stationary. This frontal boundary is going to stay there. It's nothing coming around to push it north or push it south. We're not seeing any big areas of high pressure to the south. Nothing really too strong to the north to move that guy out of the way. So it's going to hang out right here and continue to spark showers and thunderstorms. Beautiful weather is going to continue across the northeast. We're going to start to warm up along the coast a little bit. So if you're in Boston, Rhode Island, New York, Philly, DC, you're going to see those 80s start to return. But if you're in Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate Maine, upstate New York, western Pennsylvania, lovely temperatures. Actually, some of the best weather in the country is going to be in the northeast. We're going to see those showers and thunderstorms through portions of the upper Mississippi Valley and into the Great Lakes tomorrow. And that's where our threat for isolated severe weather can be for your Friday. Dry weather across the northern tier of the nation, all the way over to the Pacific Northwest and down the West Coast through California. And we're going to be seeing a lot of hot weather in this region as we see a lot of triple-digit temperatures. And that hot weather is going to continue across LA and the Southwest, where we're seeing temperatures exceed 100 in Southern California as well. So that is a look at your Friday weather forecast. Now, finally, let's take a look at your Saturday. Now, Saturday, we're going to see a little bit of an increase in the monsoons here across the four corners, and our frontal boundaries finally shifts a little bit. It takes that those short waves of low pressure. It's a mouthful to say short wave, to remember how to say it. But we got one short wave here, and that short wave here is going to move slightly to the south and east a little bit. So it's going to change where that focus of that moisture is going to set up at. So we're going to see that increase along the Gulf of Mexico, down here along the South Texas coast, all the way over to about Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans, Louisiana. So we're going to be seeing that potential for heavy rain and some urban and small street flooding and coastal flooding in that region. Could see a little bit of wind as well. So we're going to be dealing with that potential for heavy rainfall along the Gulf Coast down there. Down along the Gulf Coast there, along the state of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and extreme western Florida panhandle, okay? So we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms fill in here through the Ozarks and through the lower Tennessee Valley and the lower Appalachian Mountain Range, because this frontal boundary is starting to move a little bit to the east, and it's creating a little bit of convergence between this guy here. So it's kind of funneling clouds and moisture through this region here. So we're going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms start to move into the Ohio Valley and the eastern end of the Great Lakes and the interior of the Northeast, the St. Lawrence River Valley, and southern Canada from Montreal, Quebec, as well as Toronto. We're going to be seeing some showers and maybe some thunderstorms. So rain with embedded thunderstorms, not too bad. Nothing too much to worry about there. And that hot one, we're going to see a little bit of cooler weather as that frontal boundary has moved through portions of the upper Mississippi Valley. So we're going to see a pleasant day for your Saturday as those temperatures in the 60s and 70s through Minnesota. 70s through the northern plains as well. And we're going to have this secondary front that's currently going to be stationary for you Saturday. But eventually that guy's going to move east and it's going to start to pull in some warmer weather. We do get a frontal boundary that comes on the Pacific Northwest coast. Might start to cool things down a little bit across the Pacific Northwest, but it's going to continue to be super hot through the state of California and Nevada and eastern Idaho, Idaho and western Montana. In this region right in here, it's going to continue to be super hot. Not much of a difference. This front is not really making much of a difference. It's not really bringing that much moisture. Most of the energy from that guy is way up in British Columbia, so we're not going to be seeing a huge impact, and it's not going to do much to flatten that western ridge that's been in place for almost a year now across the western half of the United States. So that is a look at your 3-day weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. Thank you for watching me. Remember to subscribe, leave your likes and comments to the channel, and I will be back tomorrow with another weather forecast. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.